So it makes a real pleasant change that it's a really sunny day on the allotment today. I'm doing the harvest, so I thought I'd just do a quick tour around. Just going to do my plot. I'll do Debbie's plot another day, and I'll do the garden another day as well. So you get a view over the next few days of everything that we've got growing. And then I'll do a seedling update showing you all the stuff we're doing to prepare for spring and the rest of the hungry gap. So let's take a look round. So let's just do a quick skim around the plot. So I've just transplanted these Albion strawberries. So these are an ever-bearing one. I put them in containers because I want to be able to move them into the Polytunnel next year in autumn to get a nice late crop and reduce the amount of rotting. These are my early strawberries. They're doing beautiful. I'm so pleased with these. These are just runners that I took back in August. And they've grown on really strongly in these containers, so they'll be going in the polytunnel in January, February time. They're in hanging baskets, so they'll be hanging up in the canopy. So these are cabbages, and they're looking quite nice, and interplanted with radishes, and the radishes are ready now, but I won't be picking them yet because I've got plenty of others that are just a little bit further on. The great thing about radishes at this time is they hold really well in the soil. My last few parsnips, and I've got new spring cabbages to go in that space pretty much as soon as I take those parsnips out. These are my second early strawberries, they're looking pretty good, and I did think I would end up with some gaps in here, but actually everything seems to have recovered okay. So I've got these spare runners here that I had just in case. And I've interplanted into every gap in here Picardy white garlics, so I think they should do pretty well. And in here I've got my, still fastened down, my youngest Brassicas. So there's a mix here of different types of Tuscan Kales, Brussels sprouts, the purple ones, and lots of curly Kales. And to be honest, we're not really harvesting much of this at the moment because we've got plenty of older plants, but these young ones should do pretty well in spring. And these were all interplanted with turnips, as you can see here. I've been harvesting these over the last few months, and they're doing pretty well. I'm quite pleased with them. So let's take a look at the spinach. So this is my oldest spinach now. It's interplanted with lots of onions. This end is overwintered bulbing onions, this end is salad onions. And this spinach is kind of running out of steam a bit now. And I'm not too worried though, because I'll just pop down here. And this is my second oldest spinach bed. And this one's looking really lovely. And got another bed down there, and I'm harvesting this now, so this is going to keep us going. Well, I mean, we'll continuously harvest this until sort of April time, I guess. I've got some more radishes down here, some more radishes down there, and another spinach bed here. And to be honest, actually a few of these leaves now are ready for harvest. That's about the sort of size we generally start harvesting them. So I'll take a light pick off this bed. I've got this bed as well, another one under a low tunnel, and this is almost the youngest that I've got. This is interplanted with salad onions. It's looking pretty good, it's growing well. Should be ready for harvest in December. This is my youngest spinach bed, and I guess this one will probably be ready for harvest in January. And this is in the polytunnel, and the reason I've put some in here, which I wasn't originally planning to do, is that there's just enough there that if the weather's really bad outside and I can't or I don't want to harvest from low tunnels and coal frames and things, and that's generally because it's just too windy or rainy, I've just got enough like there that I can harvest to see us through the week. And again, that's interplanted with salad onions. Do the same with lettuce. So this is my oldest lettuce bed, and still giving a good harvest. but you can see that some of the plants are starting to go to seed now, which is a bit early, but not surprising. It's been very mild, although it's been very wet, and so these are not winter varieties, and so I'm not expecting them to do very well once it gets cold, but for now we're still getting a lovely harvest off these, and we've got plenty of winter varieties, which I'll show you now. This is my second oldest bed, and these were sown 9th of September, again interplanted with salad onions, and these are looking really nice. I'm really pleased with these. And last year we didn't have any lettuces, I don't think, under low tunnels at this time of year, because we lost them all to some sort of mould. I don't know what happened to them, but it was pretty horrible. They all just went to slime. But this year they're all looking really strong, and generally I find that when they're looking this good, you know, they're kind of resistant to any problems. So yeah, I'm pretty hopeful, so I can start taking a harvest from those. And I've got these. This is the next succession, and I'm guessing these are about 2 weeks away from harvest. And we just harvest them continuously, just taking the outer leaves off them. So they're looking pretty good. And I've got the ones in the polytunnel. Now all of these are winter lettuces, apart from maybe those there, which are just trials to see how well they do over winter. And it, you know, it looks like obviously we've got a lot of lettuce, but you know, we need a lot. We're feeding 14 people at the moment, and they all love lettuce every week, so this is kind of what you need. And it's nice to have lots in the polytunnel, because this is definitely the best environment for growing lettuce over winter. But I won't need all this in March. All this will be out and planted with new stuff. I've got lots of new stuff up here, and lots of stuff at home coming on. Just experimenting with a few lettuces in hanging baskets, and these are growing really nicely. I'm quite pleased with these. Up here, lots of light, lots of heat, no slugs. So I think we'll take a look at carrots now. So these are Touchon, and I've been very pleased with these. These are the ones we're eating in November. These are Touchon. These are the ones we're eating in December. And then if we just take a look down here, these are Eskimo, and these are the ones we're probably eating in January and February and March, and these are the ones we're eating over winter in salads because they're smaller, planted later, and I think they're Touchon as well. And these ones in containers are the ones we're eating in April. I had to cut the tops off these because they got downy mildew, but they're all looking okay now. They're pretty good carrots in there already, so they don't need to grow very much more, if at all. These containers, 3 at this end and 3 at the other end of the polytunnel, are the ones we're eating in May and June. And I haven't sown the ones we're going to eat in July yet. Do that in March, April time. These are the oca, and these are what we eat instead of radishes in December, January and February and early March, and then we'll have new radishes in March in the polytunnel. So let's have a quick look at onions. We've got in the store at home, I don't know, something like 300 or 400 onions, which is a good supply, but then we eat about an onion a day, and we do lose a few to mould and things like that. So we've got new overwintered onions here, we've got salad onions there, we've got salad onions here, salad onions here, salad onions here, And then we've got overwintered onions, bulbing onions here, and then salad onions down here, plus some more salad onions and bulbing onions in the polytunnel, as well as a few in the back garden and the front garden. So quite a lot of onions, but then we need a lot because we eat a bunch of salad onions every day. And yeah, let's have a look at the brassicas. So we've got Brussels sprouts, different types down here. They are not doing very well this year. The very, very dry summer that we had didn't help. Well, actually, spring and summer. These are the Colettes. These have been under the shade of this tree, so they're a bit behind the ones back home. So we're harvesting the ones at home at the moment, and these should be ready in, well, by winter. We've got a few that are ready down here at this end. But as I say, all these others should come ready all the way through winter and into spring. I love Colettes. We've got more sprouts, more Colettes, and then we've got early varieties of purple sprouting broccoli here, which is actually just sort of coming into flower now. And we've got late varieties of purple sprouting broccoli here, and late varieties there. Claret, I think most of those are, and we've also got claret and some early varieties on Debbie's plot. So loads and loads of flowering brassicas. And we've got some calabrese here and cabbages and things like that, and lots of successions of those as we go down here. So that calabrese, that should be ready in April. We'll grow that in the polytunnel, and then more successions that will come later on in the year. I've just cleaned up all of these late strawberries, and I've got loads of elephant garlic planted in here. So there's elephant garlic all the way down the edges. That'll be harvested in spring, probably as leeks and bulbs, mono bulbs. And all the way down the middle are the ones that are going to be harvested for big elephant garlic cloves. Trees are okay, leeks are okay. We've got leeks all over the place. We've got leeks all down the edges of all these brassica beds, leeks here, leeks down here, and you know, they're not big because they're all multi-sown. They're all grown under the shade of the brassicas, but they're just fine, like chopped up in meals. They're great. And otherwise I just wouldn't have space for leeks. So just by interplanting them like this, I end up with hundreds and hundreds of leeks, albeit quite small ones. So I've got a lot of garlic, about 300 cloves I think. So this is all garlic here. It's not come up yet. Interplanted with garlic. Lots of garlic on the other plots, and back in the garden at home, this is all interplanted with garlic. So loads and loads of garlic. Here I've got my Asian greens. Those are still looking pretty good. Tatsoi and red pak choi. Got masses of field beans just stuck everywhere where we had space, and we've been harvesting those now for, I don't know, about 6 weeks probably. We just keep on pinching the tops off, they just keep on regrowing, and we're using those as a spinach supplement. But right now we're getting close to the point where we don't need any more of these field beans because we've got loads of spinach. So we'll leave them for a while and start harvesting them again in sort of late February probably. So I think that is about it, apart from the perennial kales, and they're out on the edge of the plot on the flower border, and they're looking pretty good. So let's just go take a look in the polytunnel. We've got parsley, celery, as I said, loads of lettuces here, loads of carrots down there, early onions there, early broad beans there, lots of broad beans on Debbie's plot. Turnips here, showed you those already, and chard there. So that is pretty much everything in the polytunnel. Loads of space, because it's nice to have loads of space at this time of year, and loads of spare lettuces here, spare perennial kales there, spare spinach there. So none of those spares we've needed yet. And I'll show you all these seedlings in another video. So hope you like that quick video. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.